D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished Andor episode 9, and I have to be honest with you. It's not that the show's just really boring. It's not that great. I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of you not even a lot of you, because nobody's watching it, nobody's watching this show. And I'm sorry. Like, maybe this would have been better as a movie, I think. It's just taking so long to get to whatever point. Like this episode, there was something that was like intriguing. And I'll tell you what it is when I get to it. Sorry, there's like a light shining in my face. But other than that, I was like, I don't care about a lot of this. Like, I'm just like, what? Who cares? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so like, every time I talk to somebody, they're like, the world building. I'm like, what world building? What are you talking about? And like, but this one, okay, so this one, a handful of things happened that were interesting, but I'm telling you, there is no point in time when I am watching this show and I'm like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Most of the time it's like, okay, like I literally like called the ending before, like when the ruckus started happening in the prison. I literally called it. I was like, oh, I know what's going on here. And I'm all like, whoa, why? I'm sorry, Tony Gilroy, you're not reinventing the wheel with this show. I'm sorry, you're not reinventing Star Wars. And then, and I do, when I talk to people, they're just like, why do you watch it if you don't like it? And I'm like, that's a good question. But it's Star Wars. How can I not watch it? That's the whole thing. Like, everybody's all like, if you don't like this, why do you watch it? And it's like, I've been watching Star Wars since I was like 9 years old. I remember I saw Return of the Jedi first, and I remember the first time I watched it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so good. I love it. And, and I just remember all these things, and I just, I just love Star Wars, I mean, and Disney's not doing a great job with it, but there are some things that I do like. All right. But why don't we get into this episode, because I'm telling you, sorry, my hair's like doing a weird thing in the front. I can't even touch it. Yeah, let's just get into this episode so I can get it out of the way and you guys can go about your day. Because I mean, if you love this show, you already hate me right now, and if you dislike the show, then you're just gonna stick around for like 2 minutes while I crap on it. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now we got that out of the way. Let's get started on this episode. So it starts off with Lieutenant Bitchface, and she is interrogating Brix or Bex or whatever her name is, Brix. And she's basically saying her friend, the other dude, that she's like, listen, we know everything. He told us everything. He was, not going to. She's like, I don't like to waste time. I'm like, yeah, me neither. But I seem to be wasting my time with this show. So let's get to it. So she's basically saying, like, we know everything that your friend and how you were communicating with Stalin Skarsgård. And this guy came up with a special way of interrogation. It's like whale sounds or some shit. And she's like, listen, she's like, you can tell me now so we don't waste time, or we can get started on this interrogation, which is going to hurt mentally. And she eventually goes, you're not going to believe me anyways. And she's like, probably not. And I'm all like, and that's the thing about interrogations with all this stuff. And I can't remember what movie or TV show. I want to say it was that Guillermo del Toro movie. Oh, what was the name of it with the little girl and the Pan, the satyr or whatever? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Pan's Labyrinth. There we go. She has to torture her. She has to get tortured. Brix has to get tortured, because if she gave her all the information, like all of it, told her everything in minute details, she still cannot believe her. She would have to think that she was lying. So you have to torture her to make sure she's not lying. And so and Bricks knows this. She's like, I'm getting tortured no matter what. So I might as well just get tortured and then give him all this stuff. So then I can at least say, you know, I got tortured and I had to give it up. And so she leaves and this doctor guy gets involved. And this has taken a lot longer than I thought. That was like 8 minutes. So this guy, hold on, he doesn't even like do his thing. She's all right. So then we hop over to Andor on the prison planet. And they're building their thing. And this guy's obviously something's going on with this old man. And I thought it was just like, you know, he was getting arthritis and everything and or something along those lines. And he's obviously the wink link in their little table. So then they're sitting here and they're ahead, I think. I don't remember. It doesn't even matter. And so they're still building and stuff. And they're checking stuff out while they do it. So then this guy, he talks to this doctor. He talks about how there's this planet and there's this species on there. And they were not, you know, susceptible to take over. Like they were being very difficult. So they decided they were just going to wipe them out. So they wiped them out. But before they wiped them all out, as they were dying, they gave out this like screeching noise or this like oh noise or whatever. I don't know if that was it. And he said the 3 Imperial guards or officers or whoever it was that witnessed the whole thing and heard their screeching. They then found them underneath the console of Star Destroyer or whatever when they left, and they were obviously had some problems going on. So they saved the screeching noises and they turned it into an interrogation. And so they put it. She puts it on her, and she's all like, I can't remember what she says here, but I think this is where. I can't remember what she says here, but they put it on and she's obviously listened to it and she's like, and everything. I personally would have liked to have heard it because we have to be honest, it wouldn't have hurt us. We're watching a TV show. So then they're still doing their thing. He's like, I got to pee. So he goes into the bathroom and they're all looking out on what's going on. So he goes in the bathroom, but he pops open this little container thing right here, or this wall panel. And he starts cutting. He's like filing down this pipe. Okay. And when he does that, as he's doing that, they get a little your spot and everything. So he leaves and he gets in his spot and he gets a new dude. They get a new person and he gets zapped. But as he gets zapped, he touches the bar. Oh, I didn't get that. And oh, no, right, because it hasn't happened yet. Well, he touches those little bars and those are not electrified. So everything's okay. And so they go back up and yeah. So then Bex is obviously, so they get all the information out of Bex or Bricks or whatever the hell her name is. Who cares? She's very hot though. So this old man's still struggling and stuff. So yeah. See, that's how boring it is. You just see this old man struggling. And I mean, I get it because they're trying to show you stuff, but they take so long to get to the point. And I just wanted to say, I called it. I called what happens here. This whole situation. So then she's talking to this guy and she says to keep Bricks there. She's like, do not let her leave or whatever. And he's all like, what about the other dude? I don't remember his name. And she's like, do whatever you want. He's like, I want to hang him to send a message. She's like, do whatever you want. So they're going to hang him. And I was like, that's a bummer. So then yeah. So then back at the Senate, the Mom Mothma she's trying to plead to the other senators about whatever. And they're like, long live the emperor and everything, all this nonsense. It doesn't matter because the Senate will be dissolved anyways pretty soon. Sorry, I'm getting cold. It's winter. So she's obviously pleading to nobody because everybody keeps shutting off their lights. I'm assuming that means that they're either leaving or they're not going to vote with her. So she gets in her car because she's been defeated. And she's like, and then her driver's like, hey, your cousin's at your house. She's like, oh, is she now? And so, okay, back at the prison planet. Okay, so they're signaling. And he's like, something's wrong. And he's like, something happened on 2. They're like, and everybody's signaling that something happened on 2. And they're like, what happened on 2? And they're like, something happened on 2. And so they do a complete shutdown and everything of this thing. The prison planet. They do a power down or something like that. I can't remember what they called it. And he's all like, get in line, get your crap together, kind of thing. And they leave and they go back to their rooms. So does everything else. So then back at Mom Mothma's apartment, we get her cousin, and she's all like, look what cousin whatever brought me. And she's like, you'll have to get your father's approval to wear that. And it's not exactly scandalous. I mean, she shows some arm, and I'm like, oh, look at that. She's like, Dad will let me do whatever I want. And I'm all like, her daughter's a big cunt. I'll tell you that right now. As far as kids go, I'm like, me personally, I'm all like, listen, I personally am not a parent that has an overwhelming amount of rules. But one thing you're gonna do is you're gonna respect my authority, and you're not gonna talk back to me. My kids, when they do that crap, I'll be like, are you sass boxing? Because you better change that real quick, because I don't appreciate that at all. It's my house. And then we see the cousin, and it's what's her face, Blondie. So she is a rich girl running from a rich family and everything. She's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, it's about the rebellion. And she's like, yeah, I've come home or whatever. And she's like, you going back home to their home planet? And she's like, whatever. I don't remember what they say, but she says something about the rebellion. And we all make our choices. And their dress is lovely, and she looks nice in it. It's back at the prison planet. He's all like, how many guards are on each one? Have you ever thought about escaping? And he's like, shut your mouth. And he's all like, come on, you've thought about it. And he goes to sleep. And so they're sitting here, and they're just all like, whatever. So then back on Coruscant at this little thing, these guys are talking, and she's all like, the interrogation went well. And they're all like, you think that Andor had something to do with Aldani. And her little assistant's all like, he was cleanly shaven. She's all like, Brick said that he was cleanly shaven, and everybody at the heist was cleanly shaven, was all shaved. And he's like, this is excellent. Keep following up with that. So then back on Prison Planet, they're all like, something happened on 2. Something happened on 2 and everything. What happened on 2? And then, like, long story short, they killed everybody on 2. And everybody's like, why'd they kill everybody on 2? Like, they just killed the whole floor. Everybody on the whole floor. And you'll find out later why, and I'll tell you why. But I just want to say, when he said that, they killed everybody on 2, and I was like, oh, I know why they killed everybody on 2. Like, I'm all like, Tony Gilroy is for being so fantastic. You guys loving Tony Gilroy in Star Wars. I mean, this isn't exactly, what gets me about this show is Rogue One was so fast paced, and rightfully so. It was very paced well, that this show is not. It's not paced well. The pacing sucks. So anyway, so then they go to work. And because he's like, don't tell anybody that something happened on 2, because that's bad. If they know then that's bad. So Serial here, his mom's all like, he's like, you were in my room, and she's like, it's cold. You were rifling through my things. She's like, it's called cleaning. He's like, you went into my private box, and she's all like, out of everything I've done for you, I deserve, whatever respect. I don't like this either. I don't like this guilting kids and everything. Like, like, oh, I've sacrificed so much for you. I deserve to know things. No, you don't. Stop that. I don't like her way of parenting. She's a Yenta, which I totally get because I'm a huge Yenta, but I wouldn't go through my kids' stuff like that. I mean, people need to have their privacy. I like my privacy. I don't bother people with nonsense and everything. And I love how his name is Cereal, and he's eating cereal all the time too. And he's all like, I got a promotion. And she's like, see, they knew who you were. Your uncle will be so proud. And she pours more cereal in his bowl, but one falls on the thing, and he throws it in his bowl. Then this dude's struggling again. They're building and everything. And they're building. He's still struggling. So then back here, they're having breakfast, but he's talking about the banker guy. And she's like, oh, mom's old boyfriend. She's like, what? No, he's not my old boyfriend. We're just friends. And he's talking about how she's like an old maid. Like, he's like, you need to find yourself a man and everything. And she's all like, no, I don't. I like the muff. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big muff diver. And so as she's walking out, she's all like, listen, she's like, then we're trying to move the money, talk to the banker dude, see what you can do, rebellion out kind of thing. Doesn't even matter. It's so like this show. She's sitting here and she's all like, oh, I've been tortured. And that's all they show of her. I think that's the end of it. So he's sitting out here like a total lapdog simp for her. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I got promoted because of you. And she's like, I had nothing to do with that. And he's like, he's basically like, listen, being in your presence makes you make me a better man. And I'm like, oh, get the hell out of here, cereal. I had some cereal today. It was delicious. It was Raisin Bran. I know, so boring. But anyways, but she's all like, she's like, she is loving that he's there simping on her, but she's trying to pretend that she's not loving every minute of it, which is so annoying and obnoxious. Gosh, she looks so angry. She's like an angry person. Like, I know you're all like, you're a hate channel and everything, but I'm not angry. I'll tell you that. I mean, I get angry, but I mean, like, I'm not angry like this. This one's angry all the time. I wonder what pills she was taking. Anyways, she's like, if you come back again, I will have you arrested, kind of thing. So then they're sitting there and they're like, we got a pilot. He's on a Star Destroyer. Do you want to go? And she's like, no, send the doctor. I'll interview him remotely. I won't have time to get there. I won't get there in time. So then he's basically, so he tells her, he's like, listen, we can't move the money because you move the money too much at a time. We can't do all of this. We need help. We need a banker to help us. And I've got one in mind. And he names somebody, I don't remember, like Davos or something like that. I can't remember. And he's all like, she's like, he's not a banker. He's a gangster. And he's like, well, too bad. We've already got a meeting. And I think she's worried that about her reputation, because then if anybody finds out, including the Empire, they won't be like, she won't get arrested for it per se, but it'll make her look bad. And she's trying to be a do-gooder. And how can I be a do-gooder if I'm working with somebody that's, reprehensible, So then they're talking about the pilot, and they want to reel in the rebels. So they're going to put the pilot, because they were like, what if we made an explosion? They're like, no, that wouldn't work. So what they're going to do is they're going to put the pilot back in the ship, dead, and say something happened, something went wrong with the ship, and then they're going to have to tow the ship in to wherever they're going. Excuse me. Oh, it's still so early here. And so, yeah. So then back here, he's going, something's happening to Old Man River. So the day ends. This table right here gets the lowest score. So that means they're getting zapped. And I think that these guys won. And so while they're standing here, oh, hold on. Yeah, there they are. They're getting zaps. Yeah. So they go back in here, and he's long story short, he's having a stroke. And so he collapses, and I feel bad for him. But then, so he's like, we need a doctor. He's like, call a doctor and everything. So they get a doctor in there, and they take him to this hallway, and they're sitting here, and he's checking. He's like, you can't save him. He's only got 4 months left. And he's like, I can't save him. He's had a stroke. He's like, what I'm giving him, you wish you could have, because instead of staying here, instead of what's going on here. And he's like, what do you mean? What happened on 2? And he tells them that on 2, there was a guy on 4 who got released. Okay. But then they put him on 2, level 2, and they killed the whole level because they all found out that you're not getting free. You're stuck on here. You're stuck in this place. And he sends these two away. And while they're doing that, he's like, how many guards on each level? And he's like, no more than 12. And so the whole thing is that the prisoners are prisoners forever. They're workhorses forever. Like you go into that prison, you die in that prison. It's a death sentence. And that's the end of the episode. And I'm all like, we had to waste 50 minutes, 40 minutes to get to that reveal. Okay. Like, I'm all like, this show takes way too much of our time to get to like, which was a good reveal. But at the same time, I just go, you took forever to get there. You took forever to get to this reveal. Yeah, it's like those people that tell a story and they're telling us. I'm thinking of one specific story one time. I remember this guy he was telling us a story about how he was in basic training and all this stuff. And the story was like, it sounded like it was leading up to something really, really good. And then you get to the end of the story and I'm like, and basically the story was that they were late getting back to their barracks or whatever when they were supposed to be there at a specific time, but their head dude didn't punish them. He's just like, just get back in the thing. And it was a big nothing burger of a story. And that's what this show is. It's a big nothing burger of a story. Like nothing happens in this show that's of like huge substance. The Empire is sending people to a death sentence so they'll do manual labor for the rest of their lives, and they're duped into thinking that they're going to get free. Oh, okay. I didn't know Tony Gilroy was reinventing the wheel here. This show is not that great, you guys. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to hear hard truths, but that's just the truth you need to hear. And I'm living my truth. You got to live your truth, right? All right, I'm done complaining. I'm sorry. I know you guys are like, I hate you, but that's just how it is. All right, you guys, tell me what you guys think about the show. Do you like the show? Do you not like the show? What's your favorite part? How can you have a favorite part? Where do you think this is all going? Please let me know. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next Andor video. You guys have a good week. May the force be with you. Bye.